Today I'm exploring Boon Keng, one of Singapore's older, more charming neighbourhoods, where life moves a little slower and the community spirit feels strong. Uncles and aunties chat over coffee and pick up groceries, while old family shops open their doors for the day. I first discovered Boon Keng on a food tour with a guide who actually lives in this neighbourhood, and he's tried almost every local dish here, a true food connoisseur, and his love for the area made every stop feel special. We even discovered some surprising homes tucked between the blocks and made our way up to the rooftops for some amazing views of the area. But we'd only just scratched the surface, so I had to come back on my own, wandering at my own pace and rediscovering the little corners that make Boon Keng so unique. Welcome to Wanderlust. In our quest to try and see every single neighbourhood in Singapore, I'm actually in Boon Keng. It's kind of Boon Keng, Bendemeer kind of cross, and we actually did a tour around this area with the geeky glutton with Aldric, and I had no idea that there was so much kind of hidden. You can't see any of what is left. There's little hints of it around, and I was fascinated to learn what this area actually used to be. It used to be a huge garden, a wampa house. There was a massive house built here, and the whole area stretched kind of Serangoon Road over to Bendemeer, and this Boon Keng area used to be a huge like beautifully designed Chinese garden. There's little hints of it around here. The geeky glutton was telling us about it, and like there's kind of neatly created hedgerows, which was really beautiful. They've kind of kept tall trees. There's lots of little nods to it around the place, which I found very interesting, that I had no idea that any of this was in this area. But I'm going to show you around here a little bit more and see if there's any other things that I can discover too. This HDB area has one of the biggest, probably kind of community park areas that I've ever seen. A really lovely playground. There's a fitness corner as well. They've got like a little basketball area. They've got bits where you can put up a tennis net. They've got a barbecue pit. There's a whole row of these really beautiful kind of seats and tables near each other in like a long line that are kind of shaded as well by these huge tall trees. A really lovely community space for all these people just to be able to come down and use this area. The buildings itself I really like. They've kind of got all these curved bits around them. Lots of the newer HDBs I've noticed are very much Lego blocks, but these ones have got kind of little interesting details on them. They've got different colour schemes. Some around the windows are orange, and I love seeing the washing hang out on the poles. I really like this area, and I'm enjoying just walking around here and kind of just being able to take my time and look around and see what's here. Behind me is the Bendemeer Market and Food Centre. It's actually closed for cleaning these 2 days, so by the time you're watching this, it'll be open. And I encourage you to come down here and try some food. The geeky glutton actually brought us here, so his namesake, because he loves to eat. Not just loves to eat, he's passionate about food, flavours, textures, and he curated a whole table of amazing food for us to try. Some local things from here, some things that we hadn't really had before, a few dishes we knew of, but we hadn't had them like they are in here. So I'm a little bit gutted because I wanted to take away one of the dishes that we had on Saturday, but I can always pop back because Bendemeer and Algang are really close to each other. So I would encourage you to come here. I also encourage you to go over to his Instagram so that you can check out what we ate, and then you can come and find it here yourself. But yeah, I'm going to carry on going and see what else is around this bit. Lots of the blocks have these little images on them. There's a few. This is an ice cream. I saw a croissant, I think, and I saw a couple more. I don't know if they're part of how to describe it. So the MRT station started putting like things that the older generation recognise, tin cats, old irons, things like that, for elderly to be able to recognise their MRT exit. So I wonder if this is something similar for the blocks around here. But in front of me is actually what's called the mall, depending on how you pronounce it. and it's only 2 levels, but actually the top level is all for storage. So yeah, I found that quite interesting. I wouldn't have called it a mall, but on our tour, Aldric said no, this was a shopping mall. Some of the stores have been here for a very, very long time. So yeah, I'm going to go and take a walk through it. This little mall is really lovely. You can kind of walk from one end to the other, and I reckon you could probably pick up everything you needed in a day, really. I was told that there's a fruit market at the top and the bottom, and both of them are owned by the same people. So they open one at one end, one at the other, so that it makes it easier for people to be able to, if you live closer to this end, to be able to get to this one. But yeah, there's a few clothes shops, there's a dentist, a few nail salons, so yeah, a little bit of everything. It's really cool and breezy in here as well. And like I said, I think upstairs is storage, but it does look like there's a few apartments up here as well. It's really kind of giving me that neighbourhood feel of things. I'm definitely going to pick up some fruit later, because I do love shopping at the markets of fruit. Whenever I go to a well-known supermarket, I'm just like, the prices at the market are half, sometimes even cheaper than that. So yeah, I will definitely do a little bit of market shopping. But I think I'm going to grab a drink. Aspen forgot her water bottle at school this morning, so I gave it to her to have instead. So yeah, I'm going to go and grab a drink, and I think I might just sit in here for a little while and enjoy something and just kind of watch the world go by a little bit. I noticed fresh dumplings being made, and after watching for a while, I couldn't resist trying them myself. And while they cooked, I sat and watched the morning unfold around me. People buying their groceries, having breakfast, catching up with friends. The shopkeepers were busy too, laying out fresh bread, preparing the counter and greeting familiar customers as they walked in. And just a few minutes later, my steaming plate of dumplings arrived. And I love a good black vinegar dip, and these dumplings were perfect, plump, juicy, and packed with pork and chives. After finishing every last one, I decided to grab a drink. I'm just in front of the MRT station, and Serangoon Road is in front of me. One of the earliest roads built in Singapore, and it used to just be farmland all over it. And of course this area, like I talked about, was the Whampoa estate. And in front of me there's just like a huge circle. There's circles everywhere around here. But this huge circle was once where a giant water fountain was within the gardens itself. I do wish there were more pictures of this kind of around this area. There is, I did notice one heritage board that's kind of got a picture of what the house used to look like. But I would love to see some more pictures of this area. I know that the library archives has some. But this hidden gem, this bit of information that's kind of hidden now within books and tour guides, that unless you come around with a tour guide, I don't think you would have kind of figured this out for yourself around here. So we've done a couple of tours abroad actually, but coming to do one in Singapore, I still think is great. If you're new to Singapore, I encourage you do go and have a tour of a few places, especially one with food, because you get a huge, rich history of the area with the food as well. And of course, like, the food's delicious here. So I came down Townat Road, and then this is McNair Road, and behind me are the most beautiful kind of houses. They're like up and down. In the UK we'll call them terrace houses when they're all in a row together. I'm not sure what you'd call them here. I guess these ones are landed properties, but they are connected. I don't know if that's a difference, let me know. But I would call them terrace houses, two-storey terrace houses, and they're absolutely beautiful. They're not quite like the colonial black and whites at all. They've got really beautiful big arches and a gate. And when I came around the corner, I was like, I've been to one of these houses. I can't remember who it was that lived here, or what the connection was. I think it was somebody that John T knew or maybe worked with, but we've been inside one of these houses and they are gorgeous. Yeah, I'm glad I came down here, but there's such a huge contrast when you've got those old houses over there, you've got an 100-year-old Sikh temple over there, you've got older HDBs, and then in front of me you've got newer HDBs. There's also a hospital in front of me. There is so much going on in this small little area, and behind me is probably one of my favourite things. If you appreciate wanting to do a house up, you'll get this. If not, you'll just think it's a horrible looking old house. But this, my dream is to do up a house one day. My only chance of that is probably to buy a BTO and then be able to kind of do that up how I want it. But my dream would be to have an old house and do it up. And it always makes me kind of sad. I don't know how long this house has been here. Again, just in front of me, there's a huge patch of green, and land is a premium in Singapore. So I don't know who owns this and whether that's stopping kind of development. It must have been here before when we came and visited, but I'd love to go in there, and I'd love to do it up and give it some love. And I just love to think of how this whole area would have potentially looked all these years ago. I really love walking around these houses. You can kind of walk around the whole of them, and even up the middle there's actually 2 rows of them, and they still have the stairs up the back, which when the houses didn't have bathrooms in them, then the night collectors would come and take your bucket of business, take it away, and that whole thing kind of blows my mind. But now you'll be here pleased to know that they have plumbing in them. I am nosy, and there was one for rent. I had a little look at the price of it for a 4-bed one of these. I can't remember the square footage, but if you're nosy, you can look it up as well. It was about 8,000 a month, which I was actually surprised by how I thought that was kind of okay compared to some of the condos that you would pay for a 4-bed and possibly for the space. You see here there's no swimming pool and facilities and things like that. But yeah, I expected it to cost an awful lot more, and actually when I looked inside, there's not a lot of kind of unique features inside. I think the beauty of these properties is actually on the outside of them. So they're kind of like a blank slate inside. But yeah, I love when I see a property that I like, I go on one of the rental websites so that I can have a little nosy inside. But yeah, what a beautiful set of houses. I'm actually on the 30th level of one of the HDBs that opposite. 30 levels up is very, very high. I can see out for miles. It is really, really lovely, and what I really like is I can get a look on all of those kind of terrace houses, landed houses, and you can kind of see how they're all spread out. Wow, this was worth coming here for sure. Lifts here, but I feel like if you were on the 30th level and you got down, you forgot something, you're going to be waiting a long time to get back up still. Going down one lift from an HDB top level up to another one, but this one's only on level 12 of block 34. This has the longest continual HDB walkway out of all of them. It can take up to 3 to 5 minutes to walk, depending on how fast you walk. But I was reading a little bit online, and some people were like, oh, delivery drivers, like, if you go to the wrong end, you've potentially got a 3-minute walk to go all the way around the other side. There are other lifts as you go up, but there's still quite a long stretch in between them. And the view from up here, again, is just really, really lovely. I can see how varied this Boon Keng area is. Now that I live in an HDB, I really notice the difference in community. Doors are often left open, neighbours greet each other as they walk past, and little conversations happen naturally along the corridors. Our neighbour even loves giving the kids snacks and treats, and it's the small things like that that make the place feel like home to me. walking down the passageway, you get a glimpse of the personalities behind each door. Some spaces are filled with lush plants, adding splashes of green and colour. Others have bikes neatly parked outside, or religious decorations and lanterns hanging proudly. Further down, the corridor opens up to a view over the river that leads to Kallang, and from here you can watch the buses rolling past on the road below and see cyclists and runners enjoying the park connectors. It's such a simple space but full of life, a little snapshot of everyday Singapore. Behind me is a little coffee shop that is selling not drinks but coffee beans and ground coffee. It's our friend's birthday this week and he's kind of into coffee as well, so I just thought, let me get in some. Uncle didn't speak any English whatsoever, so I actually got to use my Mandarin and I was quite impressed and he understood me, so we kind of got there in the end. And yeah, I got him some coffee from there. It looks like this shop has been there for absolutely ages. Uncle sat outside on his phone, and then I noticed when I'd finished shopping he kind of wrote everything down in a little book what I had bought. Yeah, I really enjoy this area. There's kind of, it seems like the road is right in front of me. It seems like the big road goes all the way around it, and then the main area of Boon Keng is kind of in the middle. But then you've got this whole beautiful mix of like kind of new things. It's definitely on the older side, but I'm really enjoying that actually. And I just messaged Jonty and said, I got these ground coffee for our friend, and then he's like, can you go back and get me some actually? So I'm gonna head back in. 你好，现在我的丈夫我要买，我买的对，他喜欢中度烘焙，对，我可以试试这个，但是他要的 beans， 对，对，谢谢你。My time in Boon Keng is finished. I've really enjoyed being around this area today. Although small, there's a lot of history here and there's a lot of little things to kind of do. So if you're looking for somewhere else to go at the weekend, why not just come and check out a new neighbourhood? We love doing that. And I also just popped into Project Dignity, where they seek to train up individuals with physical or mental disabilities in the F&B business. So they train people there and then kind of put them into different F&B places around Singapore, and then they have their own kitchen here where lots of the employees have actually been trained by them, which I think is really awesome. I had their banana and walnut cake, which was really, really good, like load packed full of walnuts, and it was still warm when I got it, so it had just been cooked, which is fantastic. I'm just outside a little community farm garden. This does feel very community, that's kind of the word I would use for here, and also loads of little things to do here. If you want more things to eat, I actually did a food episode here with Jenny, Dr. Jenny Lee. I was interviewed on her channel. We went to a place in here and had some food from Sian, and then we've also come back to have some amazing, my mind's just gone bloop blank. We had biryani, and there was a very surprising ingredient in the rice that we had, but yeah, you're gonna have to wait for Saturday to see what that is. And yeah, I'm done. I'm hot actually, I'm very hot, I'm flagging. There's not a lot of little cafes with like AC. I was kind of hoping I could go and cool off a little bit, but yeah, come and check out Boon Keng. Subscribe, let me know if you live here, any places that I've missed out that I should come back to, and I'll see you soon. Bye!